With Battlefield 2042 finally coming to an end, and DICE seemingly have ported or created all the weapons they will be doing for the rest of the game's life cycle, I figured now would be a good time to go over my favorite assault rifles for the game. So let's get into it. ACWR. This gun at one point was extremely good, but right now, with the recent changes to the damage and the spread and visual recoil, I'm going to put it in the upper level of fine. I think it's kind of in between fine and good. Under around 50 meters, this is one of the best assault rifles in the game because it has very low recoil and the spread is more manageable at that distance, but at range you will find yourself struggling with it. The AEK. I think the AEK kind of teeters between bad and mid. It's sad to say, but it's missing a red dot, a good red dot, that is, the Fusion Hollow. It has an extremely slow reload, but it's really good up close, so I think that keeps it from being in bad. So I'll put it in mid. A91, also mid. I'm going to put this ahead of the AEK, though. It has really good hip fire, solid rate of fire, what you want at 800, but it's a portal gun, so it's not going to be that great at range. I think mid is a good pick for it. AC42. AC42 in some players' hands is absolute godlike, but in my hands, I kind of really don't like this gun. This is probably my least favorite assault rifle. I'm going to put this one in bad. I'm not a fan of 3-round burst weapons, and I don't think it fulfills its niche, medium range, that well to begin with, so that's where it's going to land. Moving on to the AK. The AK is probably my favorite gun in the game, but I don't necessarily think it's the best. I'm going to put it in good. This is probably the best medium range assault rifle in the game. It's classic. It's an icon. This doesn't matter at all, but it has great camos, which I will sometimes run this gun just for that. Its rate of fire will get you killed up close, but it has very strong damage, and the recoil is a little hard to control, but overall it's really good. It's very powerful. The AK-5C. The AK-5C is kind of weird. Up close, it's probably the very worst assault rifle, but medium and long range, it's near the best. I'm going to put the AK-5C in good. It does have the close combat rounds if you want a faster rate of fire, but I personally just run standard extended mag. It also has a very cool red dot, which I swear gives you better hit detection. AM40, this is going in great. Probably the best assault rifle up close in the game. Between 0 and 50 meters, it's absolutely the best. The headshot multiplier on it, once it got buffed, this gun went from bad to great. Pretty much the only negative I can think of with this one is the needing to run drum mag, which kind of makes you feel like you're stuck in the mud a little bit when you're running. But other than that, absolute S tier gun. Very, very good. The GU. The GU is weird. I'm not sure where to put this one. I think it's fine. It's just okay. It's one of those guns that I wish I would like more just because it's iconic. But really, since it only has a 30-round mag and an average rate of fire, you're honestly just better off using most of the other weapons in the game. Also, with the spread and visual recoil changes, it kind of wobbles in a weird way that is side to side and somewhat hard to control. So I think fine is a good place for it. M16. The M16, if it had a Fusion Hollow, I think I would put it in good. But since it doesn't, I'm going to put it in fine. It has a great rate of fire. It sounds great. It's iconic. I use this gun quite a bit, but I do acknowledge that having to use a Cobra sight or a hollow sight is a huge, huge flaw of this gun, and it definitely brings it down. It also has a somewhat slow reload speed, which will get you killed in certain situations. M416, this one's also going to go in fine. At one point, this was probably the worst AR in the game, but right now, it has quite a bit of spread, but the rate of fire being 750, sometimes if I'm having a bad day or whatever, I will use this one because the recoil is so easy to control, and it's just an iconic weapon. So it has that fun factor. The M5A3, what a classic. I use this gun all the time, especially if I'm just warming up or don't really know what to use. This is the one I usually bring out. Since the visual recoil changes, I feel like DICE chose to put the most visual recoil out of all the weapons on this one for some reason. and it's also terrible at range, especially if you're using short barrel. However, due to its ease of use and its versatility, I think that it still beats out everything in fine. I'm going to put it in good. Bottom of good. The MTAR, this gun is. It got a lot better when the extended mag got added to it, and it does have a fusion hollow. I think I'm going to put it above the A91 in mid. It has a ton of spread. The spread shoots out like a cone, so that makes it more difficult to control and to beam people from range. But up close, it's one of the best ARs in the game. RM68, still great. Ever since launch, this gun has been crazy good. It only has a 30 round mag, but the short barrel is on this weapon. Gets you extra recoil control, a faster fire rate, and a silencer all in one. Probably the best attachment in the game. And this gun still, despite all the nerfs, extremely powerful. Pretty easy to control recoil, extremely fast time to kill. Only drawback is the 30 round mag. SFAR. I think the SFAR kind of teeters between being great and good. I can't decide. Ever since the spread changes and the visual recoil, it hasn't felt as powerful to me. I think I'm actually going to put it right below the AK. You kind of get a lot of ghost bullets with it, and sometimes it feels like even though you're hitting somebody, you just don't get any damage with it. But at one point, it was by far the best assault rifle in the game. And the same goes for our last weapon, the VHX. At one point, absolute S tier. Right now, though, this gun is absolutely horrible past like 50 meters. It's very hard to get a kill. But I still think that it's probably it's very situation dependent. But I do think that it's probably a little bit better than the SFAR, as well as the rest of these weapons. So that's concluded. I think I'm pretty happy with this actually. And this kind of goes to show that despite all the problems with Battlefield 2042, despite DICE's incompetence at times, I do think that they did a very good job balancing the weapons. I wouldn't say that even the RM68 and the AM40, I put them in great, but you could use any of these weapons and do very good. There's no weapon that it's like if you're not using this one, you're selling yourself short, you're going to not do as well in a lobby. If you're a good player, you can use any of these and you'll have a great time.